going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got Friday college basketball today. Not exactly a record-setting slate of games, but just like in all my videos, I'm going to go over each and every game against the spread, get you my predictions. So if you're new to the channel or you just haven't yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, drop a like on the video. I would appreciate that. I'm going to give you some early thoughts here on a big Saturday matchup, number 1 versus number 2. Auburn versus Alabama. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in today's video. Really excited for multiple games on Saturday, but let's stick to Friday for now. I want to talk a little bit about last night's game as well. Maryland going to Nebraska. This Maryland team is starting to grow on me more and more than they already were. That was kind of the one game I was eyeballing. I gave you Nebraska on the money line, I believe, in yesterday's prediction video. Based on a few reasons, right? We have a home non-ranked team as a favorite over a road ranked team. And Nebraska was also a bubble team. They were currently, I believe, in the last 4 in, or maybe the last 4 buys. I can't quite remember right now. I'm not going to look it up. But either way, a desperate spot for Nebraska. And I do think they did play with desperation. Unfortunately, the roster just couldn't match Maryland. Every single time that Nebraska battled back, and they showed some heart, Maryland had the answer, man. This Maryland team, I wish Queen had a little bit more experience. And I want to let you guys open up the discussion down there in the comment section, what you think about this Maryland team in terms of their potential in the big tournament. I love Reese. I love Gillespie. I like the guards overall. I like the bigs overall. I like the coaching staff. And now they're starting to show an ability to win away from their home court, which obviously you're going to need in the tournament. So Queen, gaining experience by the day. He's a young fella, but he's a great player. I love his heart. I love the attitude of Maryland, man. They're tough. They're tougher than you would think of an ACC team. They kind of remind me of a Big 12 team. And I actually consider that Nebraska-Maryland game kind of a win for me in the client list and premium. That was the one game I was very, very close to actually betting on. I had no action. We did not have a single bet yesterday for Thursday college basketball, but I was considering Nebraska on the money line. Ultimately, when I did my deeper dive, after I record the videos and I looked more thoroughly into the game, we had Nebraska, unranked team at home, favored over a ranked team. That's excellent. Desperate spot, a bubble team versus a non-bubble team. That's excellent. Home court in a great building that has a good reputation. That's excellent. A capable roster. But when I just looked into it, man, I was just worried that offensively, they just weren't going to be able to get over the hump. So ultimately, I passed on the game. We didn't bet it. We had no action, and that was the right choice. I think you guys need to understand, although it's fun to wager every day, you shouldn't do it just because of the urge. You really, really should feel good about the wagers you're making and stay disciplined. Keep your unit size uniform, manage that bankroll. That's the most important thing in sports betting. So just a little recap there on that Nebraska game. But yeah, let's dig into these Friday games. I think that's all I had to cover. And if I didn't, I don't care. Let's go, guys. Let me bring up Pickett Sports and we'll start covering these Friday games. And don't forget, I always upload my Saturday predictions early. They're on the earlier side. They're not at 6 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. They'll be out later today, late evening hours. So be looking for all my Saturday picks later here on Friday. Let me bring up Pickett Sports. Should be hiding in here somewhere. There it is. There she is. There she is. And if you guys are interested in my numbers here, I am winning pretty good now here in college basketball. I've won 3 out of the last 4 days that we've wagered on college hoops. 13-9 over those 4 days and up over 5 units of profit. Looking to carry that momentum into Saturday. Last Saturday specifically, I went 6-2, almost gained 8 units of profit. And this Saturday is significantly bigger than last Saturday. So keep that in mind if you're interested about joining my premium. Super affordable. You can get an entire week if you just want to test the waters for $30. Link in the description. No brainer. I'll put you right on the text list. Everything will get sent right to your phone. You'll get the plays, the odds, how many units to put on each one. Just copy the text, man. I win long-term every sport, every year. Everything's documented. Undeniably one of the best in the industry. Columbia, Dartmouth, 1.5. I'm going to go with it, man. Give me Dartmouth. Give me Dartmouth on the money line. Should be a good competitive game. I think Columbia stinks. Both these teams stink, but give me Dartmouth here in this Ivy League game. Mount St. Mary's and Niagara. This is actually a pretty good game. Not a name. Well, the name's okay. Purple Eagles and Mountaineers. Mountaineers is excellent. You guys know I'm a West Virginia grad. Give me Mount, man. Give me the Mount. I'm going to take the 2.5. Competitive game, down to the wire, one possession game. I think they win it outright. I'm going to take the 2.5 points. Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart. I think the line speaks volumes here. I believe in the Quinnipiac's a better team. Laying 2.5, 3.5 on the road. I'll lay the 2.5, man. I guess you could maybe look at the money line at -150. That's generally kind of where I cut it off from just laying points versus going with the money line. I like Quinnipiac here. Give me him. Ohio and Kent State. This should be a very good game. I think the spread's a little bit too big. I think this should be 3.5, maybe 4, but 6.5. I mean, you can see there on DraftKings, it is juiced at -130, but 6.5. I got to take it, man. Give me the Ohio Bobcats. I'll take the 6.5 points. Marist and Siena. Can Jerry McNamara get another win? I think he can. I'm going to go with Siena here, playing in Albany at home. You can look at the odds. Now, here's another example of just brain dead, no-brainer decisions in sports betting. To lay a bucket and a half on DraftKings is -125. The money line is -125. I don't actually have the sports books in front of me right now. Maybe it's a little glitch here on Pickett, but it's a no-brainer. If you're seeing odds even close to the same, don't be laying points. Just go with the money line. So Siena on the money line here in Albany on a Friday night. I wonder what the weather is. There might be some weather issues in this one. I think there's some pretty good storms coming into upstate New York. As you guys know, I just moved out of there down here to North Carolina on the beach. So interesting. Marist obviously is just kind of coming from lower in the state. But yeah, I like Siena here. Ryder and Iona. Give me Iona. It's a big spread. I wish it was more of like a 2.5, 3.5. Am I tripping here? Are we really laying 6.5 with Iona? I mean, that was like my gut feeling, right? You heard me read it, and I just felt immediately that was the right side. 6.5, 7 versus Ryder. Yeah, I'm still going to stick with it. Give me Iona. This one's going to be a sweat, though. Princeton and Brown. I will take Princeton here. I'll lay the points. Just better program, man. I'll lay 4.5 there. Northern Kentucky, Green Bay. I really don't have an opinion on that one. Fairfield and St. Peter's. Give me the 4.5. I'll take the Stags. Should be a close game. Neither of those teams are very good. St. Louis, Loyola, Chicago. This is actually a good game. This is a great game. I'm going to watch this one for sure, even if I just have to replay it at a later time if I can't catch this one live. Excellent game. I'm going to go with Loyola, Chicago here, man. Give me Loyola, Chicago. Money line play. I'm not laying 2.5. If this were to go up a little bit, though, if you could give me 2 possessions with St. Louis, I would actually take the points. I would take the Billikens. If you could give me like a +4, or even maybe a 3.5, if it's like, a -105 price or something like that. I would consider St. Louis if I had a little bit more meat on the bone, but here I'm going to go Loyola, Chicago. Merrimack and Manhattan. I think the wrong team's favored here. Give me Manhattan. I'll take the 2.5. Cornell, Harvard, no idea. Just go study chemistry or something. Pennsylvania and Yale, kind of the same thing. Should be a complete blowout, though. It's a huge spread. I mean, it's just crazy to see Yale basketball laying 17.5. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. It's got to be over 20 here. These teams are not close. I'll go with Yale in a blowout. UCLA, Indiana. Finally, a little bit more of a, you guys know what I'm talking about. I kind of go on my rants in some videos about how these lesser conferences and lesser teams are just, they're fun. They're entertaining. I love watching them. I watch all the games. They're super fun to watch. But just from a betting perspective, it just doesn't pay. UCLA and Indiana here. Look, Indiana coming off an unbelievable, miraculous upset over Michigan State. So what? Now they have confidence. They're going to start stringing together wins. Absolutely not. UCLA got reset. I forgot who they lost to. Illinois, I believe. So in my opinion, the situation, although it is a travel spot for UCLA, it's not at home, which, is not great here. But at the end of the day, UCLA had a nice big winning streak. They got reset by Illinois, took one on the chin there, lost by, 5 points. Yeah, I think that kind of reset their competitive spirit. I think they're better than Indiana, and Indiana is just coming off an emotional high. I think the line is short. I think it's already pretty telling that UCLA is a road favorite at Indiana. I mean, when have we ever seen that before? But I don't think it's enough. So I'm going to go with UCLA here. I'll lay the 1 point with the Bruins. They should get the job done. Indiana is just not a bad. I mean, okay, cool. You had this perfect storm where Tom Izzo, has the record tied for these Big Ten wins, and he's going for the record. That's just what happens in sports, man. It's always a player needing one more point to like surpass somebody, or one more assist, or one more rebound, or a coach that needs one more win, or a pitcher that needs one more strikeout, a batter that needs one more home run. We've just seen it time and time again. And, when Michigan State, maybe they go on a little bit of a losing streak here just because of this Tom Izzo like voodoo thing with the wins there and that record. But once they get over that hump, they'll be playing nice and loose again. You could even like see it and feel it in the players. They're like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get my coach like the win, and they're just tight and they weren't hitting their shots. I believe they were like 4 of 20 from 3. So I'm not putting too much stock into that there. I'm not gonna make it look like Indiana all of a sudden is playing good basketball. Yeah, I've talked enough about that game. You can just kind of see where my passion goes. Power 4, the bigger conferences, the main teams, stuff like that. Wright State, Milwaukee here, 5.5. Milwaukee laying 5.5 to Wright State. It feels right. It feels accurate. That's where I would put the line. So it's hard for me to choose here. I guess generally when you don't know, you take the points. So I'll leave it with that. And then we got Nevada and San Jose State here. I think this line's pretty telling. I like this Nevada team. They got some shooters. I like the overall size. Like they got some athletic guys. They got some big guys. They got some shooters from outside. The team chemistry, just the kind of scheme. I like Nevada. I'm stunned that it's only 5.5 or 6.5. I thought this would be more like an 8. I think that's pretty telling. Unfortunately, it's not telling with the team that I want to back. I'm gonna go chalk here. I'm gonna go very casual and square. I rarely do this, but road favorite Nevada, the more popular team here. I'll lay 5.5. They're the much better team. I think this should be closer to 8. I really do. And then I guess we can go to the 15th. Wow, there might be a few games already starting to pop up here for Saturday, but I'm looking at this one mainly. We can see, guys, the line is out. It's pretty much a pick 'em at this point in time. I do believe the Crimson Tide are a slight favorite. We can see there on the money line. They're minus 118 versus Auburn, minus 102. So just some early thoughts here. And of course, I'll go much more into depth and actually give you my official spread prediction in the video I'm going to upload later today with all the Saturday picks. But I'm worried. I'm worried about a couple things. There's a couple things that I don't think line up. I think offensively, it's hard to keep up with Alabama, but I'm really worried the consistent and constant turnovers, just poor handling of the basketball by this Alabama team is going to bite them. Look, I know the place is going to be rocking College game day. It's going to be loud. It's going to be noisy. They're going to have a lot of extra energy. And for a team that doesn't really play defense, I think you'll actually get a defensive effort out of them just because of the level that this game is. So even though Alabama's not a defensive team, I think they're going to elevate here in what's just going to be an unbelievable environment. I mean, you guys have to drop everything you're doing and make sure. Now, I have a girl that wants to hang out on Saturday and she wants to, go have fun and stuff. I'm saying no. I have to watch Auburn and Alabama. I like Auburn here. I think they take care of the ball better. I think Bruce Pearl and Oates here. I think the coaching is about even. I think the rosters are about even. I just trust Auburn a little bit more, taking care of the ball and just being a little bit more fundamentally sound. And at the same time, that blowout from Florida just recently here, 2 games ago, I think that was a really, really nice reset for them. I think Alabama needs a reset. I actually think it would be good for Alabama to experience at least one more loss prior to entering the big tournament. I think if you win too many in a row, we saw it with St. John's versus Villanova. You can't win every game. This isn't football. Like, good teams in football can have an undefeated season. You can't do it in basketball. You're going to lose. You're going to lose a couple. You're going to lose more than one. So I think Alabama, hasn't quite had a reset yet, and I think Auburn has. I think Auburn takes care of the ball a little bit better. We'll see where the line movement goes, and we'll look into some injury reports and just some other X factors, in between now and game time. But I can see now my connection is not the best, so if today's video has been kind of blurry or choppy, excuse me for that. I'll take care of the connection issues before I upload all the picks for Saturday. So with that being said, hopefully at least you got something out of this. I don't know how much of this recording was really, really blurry or how much of the audio was just terrible. But I'm not going to redo it again. It's late at night. Hopefully you got the picks. I'll see you with the Saturday picks later.